a plan for the future. It begins when your home can no longer protect you.
Our language. Before, to be a certain religion and to speak a certain language meant you were less of a person. The Irish language was seen as inferior, so you couldn't get a job. You weren't allowed to own property.
Losing home doesn't always mean losing a house. Sometimes it means losing your language, your rights, and the sense of belonging. Ireland has long been a country defined by migration. People arrive here for work, for education, for experience, and sometimes for nothing more than the chance to be safe. This film is not about numbers or statistics. It's about forced journeys, unexpected encounters, and losses that are not always visible, and about the strength it takes to begin again in a place you never planned to be. After relocation, life doesn't begin immediately. At first, there are days filled with waiting and questions with no answers. For this family, the journey began with the start of the full-scale war.
Like after the war, the full-scale invasion began. We had to move from Kharkiv. Actually, we ran from there.
Katerina is from Kharkiv. She is a psychiatrist.
But my family circumstances changed, and actually in Ukraine doctors don't have so much salary. So I had to change my occupation, and I ran a business. I had a gift shop in the center of Kharkiv.
Together with her husband Sergei, they raise 3 children.
My oldest son, his name is Yaromir. He will turn 16 tomorrow. And my daughter Zlata Yara, she is 12. And my youngest son, Lubomir, he is 5 now.
When the full-scale invasion began, her family fled. They were not looking for a new life. They were looking for a safe place.
For last 2 weeks, we had been checking even our fuel in our car, all our documents. Were packed. So 24th of February, when we just heard first bombs, we just woke up, sat in the car and just gone. We didn't know where we are going to go. We were so shocked, like even that it looked like that we were ready, but we didn't. Still so difficult.
The journey lasted for weeks. Countries changed faster than the feeling of safety.
It was unusual for me because I love traveling, and when I didn't understand what was happening, like today I was in Moldova, the next day I was in Poland, so I was like, oh, cool. But then I understood, so it was very sad for me.
This was not emigration, it was a search for a safe place, only for now.
And actually it was really good opportunity, but just on our way back to Murcia, my friend from Plast, she just said, my brother, he's on the way to Ireland. And I just turned my head to my husband and say, oh wow, Ireland, I know, it is a really great country, and it is English there. because in that time of moment I was sure that months later. So just like next Monday at 6 o'clock, we sat in the car again and just like we had to drive more than 1,000 kilometers.
Да, большой-большой океан.
Ireland appeared in this story as a chance to stop, even if only for a while. Language became the first challenge. Without it, no work, no future plans.
So when we arrived, just in a few months, I realized that actually I don't know English. And it's not enough for really good job. So I had to study, and I studied a lot. I spent from 5 to 8 hours every day for English.
While Katerina was learning the language, she worked outside her profession with migrant children, later in a local pub.
It was really first place when I started to speak on English. And I said like the much interesting communication I had with tourists because like I said that, you know, they don't know English, I don't know English, so we can understand each other perfectly.
Today she works as a hospital interpreter and is trying to have her medical diploma recognized.
I passed my English C1 last year, and I did it from third attempt. And now I have to pass 2 medical, it's press 2 and press 3 exams. So I had my third attempt of press 2 4 weeks ago. So now I'm waiting for my result.
Beyond motherhood and work, there is something else that matters. She leads the Ukrainian scouting organization Stone in Ireland. Here are children who fled the war. Through language, through traditions, through play, they remain connected to home.
We have meetings every week. We are speaking there only on Ukrainians, about our Ukrainian tradition, and about our Ukrainian heroes. Also, we try to gather, like raise sometimes money to support Ukrainian army, of course. And trying to reach some friends in Scouts here in Ireland.
It's important to hear that children remember who they are, that they keep their identity, even thousands of kilometers away from home. For children, integration was easier, for adults, harder.
I had few Irish friends, but mostly it's easier to find talk to immigrants because mostly you share like the same feelings, problems, and maybe some other hobbies. And
Katerina doesn't know when she will be able to work as a doctor. She doesn't know whether her family will return home, but she knows why she started again, for her children and for the future they are building together.
I don't believe that this war can finish soon. And also I believe if it is, the new war starts in 5-10 years. And Kharkiv still close to the Russia. It's only 30 kilometers from the border. I'm almost 40, and I know that I can't start new life in my 50 or in my 60. So, like, I'm not sure that we will come back to Ukraine.
They went on holiday just a few days before the war, a few days of sun and sea, and they were no longer able to return home.
Ми не вірили, що буде війна, ми не думали так. І ми повинні були повернутися 26 лютого. І 23 лютого по домініканському часу Святина дочка подзвонила нам вночі. Ми вже збиралися йти спати. Вона була в Києві. Да. І сказала: мама, нас бомблять.
It was warm in the Dominican Republic, but that warmth no longer comforted them. At home, family, friends, and a life that no longer existed were left behind.
Я вважала, що війна може закінчитися там 2-3 місяці, ну може 4 місяці. Планів не було ніяких. Мені було страшно. Я скажу так, як є. Бо ці перші дні залізниця бомбили, люди виїжджали дуже важко. Моя сестра виїхала, племінниця виїхала. Вони виїжджали в цих страшних евакуаційних потягах. І це було так страшно. І виявилось, що я не то, що не герой.
A random piece of advice and the absence of any other options brought them to Ireland.
Наш один товариш, він сидить на форумі «Української правди». І він каже, що на форумі «Української правди» є українець, який 20 років проживає в Ірландії, і він предлагає свою допомогу українцям, які хочуть приїхати в Ірландію. Нам нікуди було їхати.
Світлана and Irina landed in Ireland just one day later.
Нам допоміг цей українець. Він посадив нас до своїх друзів. Це Джон та Тереза О'Брайен. І ми жили неподалік від Ніни. Це графство Типерарі, неподалік від міста Ніна. І коли ми приїхали в Ірландію, звісно, депресія, вона була по поводу багатьох речей. Наше життя було зруйновано. Наші домівки, наші діти, наші рідні, все. Тут я нічого не маю. І ще я не розмовляю, я їх не розумію.
The first year passed in learning language, courses, and an attempt to find stability.
Рік ми потратили на те, щоб вивчити англійську мову. Ми дуже хотіли. Ми дуже хотіли вивчити англійську мову. Зараз я не можу сказати, що я розмовляю ідеально, що в мене є C2. Але я здатна розуміти людей, і я здатна зробити так, щоб вони зрозуміли мене.
House Shore Cafe became the result of that year, without investors, without guarantees, but with a great deal of life experience.
Ми прокидаємося в 5-6 ранку, в 7 ранку ми вже на роботі, заходимо, вмикаємо світла, я йду, включаю пічку, Іра йде, включає кофемашину, і ми починаємо працювати. І так працюємо до останнього клієнта, до 4, до 5, до 6, до 9. Коли як.
This cafe is a continuation of a 30-year friendship and an attempt to remain themselves in a new country.
Чи можна тут зрозуміти, але ми його любимо. Ми тут стіни фарбували, ми тут ялинку прикрашали, ми тут покупали, за квітками їздили, кожну квіточку виставляли. Так. І це дуже важко втрачати.
Their life in Ireland is built on temporary status. If it changes, they may lose everything.
Ми вкладаємо сили, любов, душу в кафе, в роботу, Ми дуже прив'язалися до країни, до Ірландії. Ми вже не відчуваємо себе іноземцями, хоча згідно документам ми іноземці. Я нічого не хочу втрачати. Більше достатньо.
30 years of friendship have taught them the most important lesson. When the world is unstable, hold on to the person beside you. A business can be lost, but a friendship never.
Я мала гарне життя. Але зараз тут я працюю важко, але я таке ж маю тут життя. І тут є люди, і тут є друзі, і тут є нові знайомі. І тут є родина, і тут я живу з людьми, яких я люблю.
This cafe is more than just a business. It's their way of remaining true to themselves in a country that has become their second home. And as long as the doors open every morning, their story continues.
Ми усіх запрошуємо до нас в кафе. Ми знаходимося у місті Кілмалак, каунті Лімерік. Кафе називається Харшу кафе. Чекаємо вас. Welcome!
My name is Ahmed. I am from Jordan.
My name is Hayat. I'm from Jordan, but I brought it Algeria.
Ahmad is 45 years old and Hayat is 38. They are parents to 2 children, a son and a daughter.
This is my daughter. It's just me, my daughter. Yeah, and my son. It's my boy.
Ahmad and Hayat lived an ordinary life until fear entered their home.
I used to work in Jordan as a petrol station manager, night shift.
The family owned a house and rented out a spare room. It seemed like a safe decision, but not in their story.
He called me and he threatened me. And he said, as you drag me to the court, I will drag you and I will kidnap your kids and I will come to your house if you are at work.
Fear doesn't arrive all at once. It seeps into the home gradually and takes hold.
I was scared because sometimes I scared to open the door. I don't feel safe. Yes.
They took the matter to court only to realize the system offered no protection. That was when they decided to flee.
When I decided to come to Ireland, I asked my uncle to help us, to give us some money to travel. So I borrowed from him money for the tickets and I booked a flight to Ireland.
Without a second thought, they fled. In Ireland, they applied for international protection, seeking safety and the protection of their rights.
So we chose Ireland. There's human rights for us. So that's why we moved here to seek.
3 months later, the refusal came. Their country was declared safe. Their story, however, wasn't.
We had a very strong situation in Jordan that we can't stay over there because there is no safety for us and there is no safety for our kids.
Today they live in a refugee center in Limerick. As they wait for their appeal, they master the language because waiting doesn't have to mean standing still.
I volunteer here to help the manager here to make some party for our neighbor. Maybe someday come here to clean, to decorate for Christmas and decorate for Halloween. Me, I baking this cake at home. To volunteer here to my neighbor have a party for her kids. I make him a cake.
So I am studying now English in FET college. I am now at A2 level. I hope to improve. So when we received that decision, we applied for the work permit. And the reason that I applied because I want to support my family, because I want to give the country back taxes and.
Ahmad doesn't have a work permit, yet every day he does something that many wouldn't dare to do, even with a contract.
I do volunteer jobs. I work in the Hunt Museum. I work there 1 year almost, yeah. So after I come here, I work there as a volunteer gardening inside. If they want to make new exhibitions.
But his true watch begins at night.
I work with the Limerick Treaty Suicide Prevention. I volunteer there over 7 months.
Several times a week, Ahmad patrols the river. He looks into the water, not searching for bodies, but for eyes that still hold life.
So one of the days, some of the ladies jump into the water and we ran to help her. And we called the fire brigade and we called ambulance and they come and help her.
Ahmad knows that pain has many faces and that sometimes the best you can do is just be there.
Some people have mental health issue because, the drugs and, because addiction to them. Some of them want to end their lives. So we tried to stop them as much as we could.
While the state decides, Ahmad acts. No contract, no guarantees, all responsibility. Ireland has become their home, even if it's a home they're still fighting for.
My kids say there is a good school, good teacher, good learning, get more, my kids was happy at school. If stay at home for the weekend, Mom, what's the time to go to school started?
And it's like our home now.
For some, immigration is a journey without return. For others, it's a years of waiting. But there are also those who stand on this side of the border, waiting to meet them.
My name is Sue Windle and I am the welfare coordinator with Deres. So Deres is a human rights organisation, was established in the year 2000 to support refugees and asylum seekers and people from migrant backgrounds. I was studying around 2017 and I decided that I'd like to do some volunteer work with Deres. Hadn't known too much about Deres prior to volunteering, and then I did my college placement with Deres as well. So really opened my eyes up to working with people from migrant backgrounds, particularly people in the asylum system. And just getting an understanding of the challenges that people who are in that system face.
We sent people across the world for 300 years, and now we are the recipient of the next wave of immigration that's coming from trouble all over the world.
Ireland remembers what it means to be an immigrant.
The new Ireland is what's on the way, with new ideas, new attitudes, new perspectives.
I think it adds nothing but value to have people from different backgrounds in Ireland. I have learned so much about the world in the 9 years I've been working with people from different backgrounds, and it's so lovely to learn things about different cultures and religions and food, and it adds value to me, you know, that I know more about the world. I know more now, different capital cities all over the world than I would have ever known. And I just think it adds such value to a community and a society when you celebrate people from other cultures.
When the full-scale war began, Christy watched the news like millions of others, but he decided that compassion required action.
News time, when we heard about all the bombing and the amount of Ukraine people that had to just run or flee from the country, our hearts were broken thinking about it. And then my son took in 2 Ukraine girls, and he said that the experience was very, very good.
Together with his wife, he opened the doors of his home to a Ukrainian family.
We took in a man and a woman, and they had only a room when they started off, and we shared the kitchen, and it worked out very well. But
Opening a door is not heroism, it's recognizing another human being.
the different cultures, not that they created a problem, but you had to be conscious of it all the time.
Soon they realized that for a life of dignity, more space was needed, so they turned their garage into a separate home.
If you try to understand other people's culture, languages, we had many a laugh, misunderstanding one another. I considered it funny anyway, because somebody would say something to me and I'd get the wrong end of it. But I looked at it from a very light, I looked at the light side of it, that they would be improving and I would understand better. And it worked out that way for us. We had a very, very happy experience, I can say.
For Christy, helping Ukrainian refugees is more than just a personal choice. It's a reflection of history itself.
It's probably one of the things that encouraged me to do whatever I could, because Ireland has experienced 700 years of domination from England. And where we have our independence now about 115 years, we're really only coming back to what we should be. So I do understand.
Once the Irish sought refugee across the globe.
During the time of the famine, that a lot of people left because there was nothing here and people had to go elsewhere, and people went to America, people went all over the world. And even I think in our more recent history, particularly for my generation, around the time of the economic crash, like my age group, a lot of them left and went to Australia to work. And that's the way of the world, and we have more access to transit routes and travel, and you can be the other side of the world in 24 hours now, and I think that's something to be embraced. So yeah, I would reject any idea that migrants are coming in stealing jobs, or again, I just think that the more diverse a society is, I think the healthier it is.
We know what it's like. In every Irish family this Christmas, there'll be a phone call to somebody who is not there because they're in England or the US or Australia. So we know what it's like to be emigrants. We know what it's like to be immigrants.
For generations, people left this city. They carried its stories far beyond Ireland, from Catherine Hayes, who sang on the world's greatest stages, to Frank McCourt, who wrote Limerick into memory, and Terry Wogan, whose voice became part of another country. Today the direction has changed. People arrive here with their own stories to tell, and the city continues to grow through all of them. Limerick is not just a point on a map. It's a place where the world's paths cross and stranger stories become our own. Each person who finds a home here makes Ireland what it is today.
But to see new sons and daughters of new immigrants playing our national sport, playing our our instruments, singing our songs, that to me is win-win-win. You know, and they're bringing their own way of doing things, their own attitudes, but also integrating into culture and making a new culture.
Migration is not an end, it's a journey, and the most important thing on the journey is not to stop.